Data services is a new area in Qlik Cloud where you create, manage, and monitor data assets that auto-generate continuously updated QVDs. You access the Data Services home by selecting either Data Services from the navigation menu or selecting Navigate to Data Services from the Start with Data drop-down menu. The main unit of work in the Data Services home is Data Assets. You create two types of data assets. Landing is used to land and update data from source databases into AWS Cloud. The Cloud Landing data asset is connected to a Qlik Replicate task which performs the actual landing. The second type of data asset is storage. Storage generates QVD files from a landing data asset. QVD files are automatically and continuously updated with data and can be stored in either Qlik Managed Storage or in a customer's S3 bucket. This is how hybrid data delivery to Qlik Cloud Services works. Your tenant admin creates a remote enterprise manager resource. The resource can be created in a space where you are granted with a can consume role or in the space where you will create your data assets. You create the replication task in Qlik Enterprise Manager. The replication task is configured to continuously copy the on-premises data to an Amazon S3 bucket. This is known as landing data in the diagram. You operate the task using a landing data asset in Qlik Data Services. You create a landing data asset in Qlik Data Services and associate it with the replication task. Run this landing asset to start the replication process. You create a persistent storage data asset in Qlik Data Services and set it to consume your Cloud Landing data asset as the source. The persistent storage data asset picks up the data from the Amazon S3 bucket and converts it to QVD tables. The QVD tables are cataloged and stored. You can store the QVD tables in Qlik Cloud Services Managed Storage or in an Amazon S3 bucket that you manage yourself. You manage the QVDs in spaces. Spaces are areas where data assets are stored. Personal spaces are private. All users have a personal space where the data assets they create are stored by default. If you want to share your data assets, create them in a data space. To manage data spaces, click Details and then Members to add new members or assign roles. In Data Resources, you can add new data connections or Remote Enterprise Manager resources. Data connection is used by the Storage QVD data asset for AWS S3 connections to read from the landing area and AWS S3 connections to write to a customer-managed storage area. A Remote Enterprise Manager resource is used by the landing data asset for the following: associating a replicate task to the landing data asset, controlling the task to land the data from the source to the landing area, and basic monitoring of the task. And that concludes this video. Thanks for watching.